Anyway, all right. So, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. There was another piece of news that went around this week that really, it's important for video games overall, and it's definitely something that we'll talk more about on Final Encountercast on our next episode. But it also directly impacts Final Fantasy XIV. Microsoft recently put out some statements and said that they're looking into cross-platform connectivity between specifically Microsoft Xbox One games and PC games, and they've also kind of extended the olive branch and said that they wouldn't mind including Sony in that as well.
Mind blown.
Sony has responded in kind, saying that they've been doing it ever since Final Fantasy XI, and that of course they would be open to doing it. So it looks like we're stepping into a new era in gaming, because this whole idea of platform exclusivity or platform locking the multiplayer was actually a big driving decision factor on a lot of hardware that people would buy.
Oh yeah.
And maybe not for people our age. We're all pretty late in our 20s, early in our 30s. But I think especially, shut up. Nobody cares, Woody. Nobody cares. But especially for younger folks, I think whatever system their friends are getting and playing online on was a big factor for whatever system they would end up purchasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you want to be able to play with your friends.
Exactly. Yeah. And this breaks down that barrier and just really kind of allows people to get whatever hardware they want to get, which is, I think, a really nice. I mean, given how interconnected every device we have is with every other device that we have, it seems ridiculous that one game console can't play the exact same title online with another game console.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so happy.
There is a long music tail on that, and I don't understand why.
I like it.
So I just it's made a lot of people in the FF14 community go, okay, well, there was some stuff with Microsoft and Square Enix about why they couldn't get FF14 onto Xbox One, and it seems like this is another barrier that has been broken down for that to happen. And so I just kind of want to put it out there, what do you guys think? When FF11 got Xbox 360 players, I knew, I was like, oh God, here we go. The dunes are going to be flooded with newbies, and you're going to have to answer all those questions. But really, when I look back on it, it added probably about 3 years to the lifespan of that game.
It was a needed and healthy infusion of players.
Absolutely. And I think that, first of all, do you guys think that if they put FF14 on Xbox One, do you think that it would significant amounts of players, new players, would start playing?
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You think?
No.
Look, I know a bunch of people who are huge into gaming, but it is specifically on their Xbox or their PlayStation. So they would never even contemplate touching PC games. There's especially one kid that I work with. He's like a total Xbox fanboy, right? No PC whatsoever. I don't necessarily know if he would necessarily play Final Fantasy, 14, but I think that there are a lot of people out there who would, or even kids nowadays who have the family computer. They might not be able to dedicate as much time to playing an MMORPG because it's a family computer and you don't get as much time with all the other people on it.
Got a good point.
But if you could get it on your console, then absolutely.
That's that's interesting. I mean,
I don't think it'll be as impactful as it was with 11, but I think it still will have a big effect.
Because that was a big deal, because that was literally, I think, the only MMO that you could get on an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
So you had a huge crossover audience there of not just people who want to play a Final Fantasy game on their 360, but people who also want to play an MMO on their 360.
Even beyond that, there was always the problem with 11 that it was such a drag on PC hardware that for a lot of people, being able to play it on a console was a cheaper alternative, because like even late into its development cycle, like 11 was brutal on your hardware.
Yep. I actually started on the PlayStation or the PlayStation 2 with Final Fantasy XIV.
Right. Or 11.
11, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, do you think that FF14 suffers from the same thing? I mean, FF14 is a good-looking game, but I don't think you need top-tier hardware to be able to run it.
And
I mean, to be able to run it well, sure. But
and mid-core hardware isn't nearly as expensive as it once was.
It's not.
So I think it's much more accessible on PC than 11 was.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think it'll have as much of impact, but it's still going to bring in a lot of people who just, hey, they want to play on their Xbox Ones. They don't want to get at their computer.
There's also way less barriers for entry now with PC gaming. I mean, with Windows 7 and the stabilization of hardware and like drivers becoming really standardized across a whole bunch of video cards, you've really worked a lot of those kinks out that 11 ran into.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing, is I sort of feel like anyone who was remotely interested in this game probably would have tried it by now. And I'm kind of wondering if just putting it on the 360, I mean, yes, it does open up a whole new platform of hardware, but how many people realistically do you think it'll pick up?
I think who you're getting is the people who don't, like Calla said, people who don't play on PC. Like people who don't play PC games. That's who you're getting. So if it's that demographic of people who have an Xbox One and that's their only system, that might be the demographic you're getting, for better or for worse.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. That's fair. So a lot of people, and maybe this is just a perception and in circles that I dwell, but a lot of people like label Xbox gamers as a specific type of person.
What are you trying to say, Nero?
That they're fucking 14-year-old racist children.
I say males 10 to 16.
And racist. No, I'm kidding.
Specifically the racist.
No, I don't know what it is about Xbox and white supremacy. It just kind of goes hand in hand. It's weird.
Racist teenagers online are gonna butt ram me.
Exactly.
Calla, is your team sponsored by Microsoft?
Yeah.
It is not, but I am sitting here looking at
we all know
Warfare 3 Special Edition.
Well, we all know based on GDC that they're sexist as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Hiring strippers. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, because anyone took off their clothes there. Anyway, so no, I don't like. Do you guys think that the demographic of Xbox players matters? Does it matter at all?
Maybe not, because the thing is, like, if it does come out on Xbox, obviously they're going to start pushing an advertising campaign for the fact that it's now out on Xbox.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
So is it going to be like super impactful? Are we going to see as big of a jump as we did when it came to the 11 one? I don't know. I think it's hard to say, but I definitely think that it is going to be a positive increase to the population. I mean, not having it on Xbox and having it, there's obviously a huge difference between those two, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be, like, if you're going to, like, compare it to something else, it's not going to be as impactful as Heaven's Ward was. We saw a huge surge in Heaven's Ward.
Of course not.
It's not going to be nearly what 11 saw. Like, when 11's time came around for Xbox 360 support, remember, it also came with the level sync system and all those other things, all the quality of life things they were trying to do to make the game viable for another generation of players.
You know, actually, that's kind of a good point.
All that happened right at that time.
Yeah,
and that's why you saw that huge influx of players not only coming to the game, but coming back to the game.
Well, because, I mean, Square Enix has a bit of a population problem, and the populations have been dipping since 3.0. I don't know that they've entirely rebounded since 3.2. Some people have come back, but, you know, they've got to figure out what to do to get this game in the hands of more people. And, you know, outside of making the client so that it runs on more hardware, what else can you do besides putting it on a whole different console, you know? So I think it would be smart for Square Enix if they went ahead and did it. A lot of people keep talking about the Xbox Gold and whether or not that would play a factor in, you know, like the end price point, and whether that would turn people off or, I don't know. It's a lot of people have just been talking about FF14 coming to Xbox One. I think it would be great if it happened, but you think it's a realistic
honestly, so long as we don't have to worry about Xbox One limitations in the future, I'm fine with it.
No, it seems like hardware is pretty flexible these days, as we just got done explaining. So
I would hope SE's not depending on this for anything, because I don't this is just gonna be a nice little thing. Like, you'll get some new people in, but yeah, I'm here with the Xbox One. And everyone else will be like, great, it's easy. Have fun.
Does it include? Well, are there any limitations that would come along with it? Do you think? I mean, I feel like the hardware is good enough to run the client just fine. I don't think it would come along with any limitations. The hard drive size is way big enough to accommodate.
The only thing that I can think of that might limit would be forcing you to use an Xbox Gold membership. Because don't you have to have that to play any online game on Xbox?
No. You do not need it to play any online game on Xbox. You didn't need it for 11 because I never had Xbox Gold.
Yeah, you didn't need it for 11, but 11 was the only game that was like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's why I brought up.
Do you have to have a PSN to be able to play 14 on PS4?
No.
Well, PSN is free, but their premium services, PlayStation is PlayStation Plus. You just get free games from that. It has nothing to do with
Yeah, and Xbox Gold is the same way. They give out games too. So I feel like you wouldn't think there would be that many people out there who would need to get Gold just for playing FF Online, if it even required it.
Cecile in the chat says FF14 on Nintendo NX.
Yeah, I was gonna say why don't we just port 14 to the Wii U for me?
Come on, let's not get carried away here now.
Come on, let's not get crazy.
You know what SC's gonna say now? Now we have 6 million people playing.
Yeah, all those Xbox people, and then the 2 people that own the NX.
Fight me, bro. Fight me.
If you want